Hello. Hey, y'all. Hope you are doing well. It is nice out, y'all. It finally feels like spring has sprung. Here in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada. Man, see y'all, I'm wearing shorts. And that's how nice it is today. So I'm just making sure I got all my notes. Hey, Aaron. How are y'all doing? I hope you guys had a good weekend. Mine was low-key, only because next week's gonna be crazy, or I should say this week now. 5 concert days in a row, y'all. that I will be filming. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Oh, man. Well, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the General Hospital After Show. I am your host, Dion Gabriel. And it's great to be back on Sundays. As you guys know, I've been MIA for a couple of weeks because I was not deathly ill, but I just had no voice. And it was not fun. Especially when everything that you do requires you to talk or sing or use your voice. But I am back. I was here Wednesday for the record, but this is the first General Hospital After Show and first Sunday that I've been back in a couple of weeks. And it feels good to be back. Have I been to an arena for a concert? I have. Have I sat near the sound booth? Not for like a concert, but like, I don't know, only for another type of event. But most of the concerts that I go to, they're like dive bar and like small venues. Like Starlight Room here in Edmonton is like decent size, but I wouldn't call it an arena by any means. And the sound booth is like in the crowd, but it's like towards the back, and I'm usually in the front. But yeah. Alright. Hey, Kaiwan. No, I do not ship Kristina and Lucky. I ship Kristina with a tombstone at this point. That's the only blessed relationship she should be in, is one that is underground. I'm wondering if Angel, you said, I'm wondering if I sit behind the sound booth in the second row, I might have my view obstructed. It depends on who is, or what the sound booth looks like, I suppose. But whose concert are you trying to see? And why is behind the sound booth the only one you can get? Hey, Sandy. But yeah, y'all, we might as well get into it. We need to talk about Kristina, okay? Because y'all, I am over it. So Kristina, who got super mad at Ava for letting Sunny stay on the, on the ground, clenching his heart for a few extra seconds, and decided to cut the brakes on a vehicle she believed to be hers. Only it wasn't hers, it was Rick's, and Elizabeth happened to be his passenger, and they both got into a wreck courtesy of Kristina's actions. Katy Perry. Okay. I mean, second row is pretty dope. Sandy says, that girl is crazy. I agree. Listen, y'all, like, Kristina is a result of what happens when you let someone with mental issues go unchecked. All right? This girl's parents have absolutely failed her, which is wild. You know, if anyone knows the dangers of letting someone's mental issues go unchecked, it's Sonny Corinthos. This man is bipolar and spent, what, a year? Like a year without proper medication, right? It's nuts, y'all. And this dude spiraled out of control, isolating himself from everybody. You know, he was living life in paranoia, trusting the wrong people, beating the shit out of anyone who just rubbed him the wrong way slightly. I mean, you could make the argument that Sonny isn't 100% certain that Ava didn't push Kristina out of the window, but Alexis sure knows it, y'all. She's acknowledged it multiple times on screen, and instead of getting her help, she just lets Kristina do what she wants, says what she wants. Like, I don't know. And Kristina's constantly yelling at the one person who's actually calling her out on her shit. Oh, man. You could be safe in the second row, Angel. Angel, you also said Kristina needs to be in the prison for the mentally insane. I agree. Sandy said, I blame Sonny and Alexis for upholding her mental delusions. Exactly, Sandy. They're just like letting her live life in a different alternative reality. It's nuts. And like, listen, don't get me wrong. I know Ava's no saint, all right? But the people of Port Charles saw how much Kiki's death changed Ava. And she wouldn't wish that pain of losing a child on anyone, let alone cause someone to lose their child. And she said as such sincerely both on and off the stand. Here's the thing. Before the wreck, Kristina did have a change of heart. And she tried to rush back to Ava's house or apartment to fix what she did. But obviously it was a little bit too late. And Kristina had also told Lucky, by the way, that she had done something awful and she ran out of Charlie's and he followed her right to the crash site. Lucky encouraged Kristina to go back to Charlie's through the back door and just pretend that she was doing inventory the whole time, which she did. This was obviously before Lucky knew that Elizabeth was a passenger in the car. I feel bad for Molly too, Aaron. Like, we saw Kristina sit there and lie to Molly. Okay? She lied to Molly when Molly found out that her dad was in the hospital. We seen her begging and yelping like a banshee to God, Kristina, in the chapel at the hospital. You know, just please let Molly's dad live. Which Molly and Alexis walked in on, and they were so proud of her too. Like, oh my God, she really cares about my father's well-being no matter what Rick has done or said to her. And like, no, she's the one that done caused the accident. Praising Kristina for the compassion that she's showing when she had none. Angel, you said Sonny can't even pay attention to his own health problems. How is he supposed to acknowledge his child's? Yeah, that's valid. I don't know. I think it's because there's part of me that like kind of puts Maurice and Sonny in the same sort of mind frame at times, because Maurice, as you guys know, is very focused on mental health and the importance of getting it checked, whereas Sonny overall, in terms of his bipolar disorder, is on top of it. Like, even though he was without his meds, he wasn't aware. He was taking his meds, or so he thought the entire time. But like, you know, I kind of put them in the same mind frame when it comes to mental health. And like, come on, man. You know, Kristina is not of mental sound of mind. Kristina was praying to God. He ain't gonna do anything. He ain't gonna help Kristina out. She gotta do that herself. God, if God is real, he gave the free will of the people to make their own decisions. And Kristina refuses to, you know, accept the reality that she is the only reason why she went out that window. So, God ain't gonna help her now. Oh, man. Hey, Allison. But yeah, I swear, this girl gets more and more annoying every episode. I need someone to get her arrested at this point, y'all. I'm just over it. I need Lucky to go apeshit on Kristina and get her ass thrown in jail. But I have very little faith in the writers actually allowing Lucky to do that. He did say in the preview for tomorrow's episode that she took things too far and she needs to pay for it. But I can totally see her being like, but Ava hasn't paid for anything she did. Girl, hush. Like, she at least did some time in jail for getting Morgan killed or getting Connie killed. I can't remember which one it was. One of the two. And she's been fighting custody for Avery for the last decade because of it. And unknowingly convinced a psychopath to murder her other daughter and has had to live with that ever since. So Ava has paid in some ways. You know, Kristina, she has lived, a cushiony life. No matter what garbage decision she's ever made, from lying about who physically abused her and framing someone else for it so that her mobster father would go after the wrong guy, to having an affair with her college professor, and now for refusing to take accountability for the role she played in getting Molly's baby killed. So, and now this, she's like hoping Lucky doesn't tell anyone instead of like feeling bad and taking responsibility for her actions. I knew it was wrong. Okay, cool. Then turn yourself in. Like, it's nuts. It is nuts. Allison, you said, I'm kind of surprised Rick lived. Me too, actually. I thought they were going to kill him off. I was so sure. I was worried. Because I think Rick Harris is very talented. And I didn't want him to die. So I'm glad that he's not. Allison says, Ava will. I hope she does. But yeah, on the plus side, Rick, who finally woke up towards the end of the week, remembers seeing Kristina's face at the crash site. So he knows she was there. So he's going to slowly put the pieces together. Ava also went to wherever the car was totaled. This was Rick's car, right? Like, I don't know how she got in there, but she did find out that the brakes were sabotaged. And she knows that Kristina was at her place. So she'll easily put two and two together too. If Ava and Rick talk, then they'll know for sure that Kristina did it. So I hope they throw her under the bus. If Lucky doesn't, then I hope that that Rick and Ava do. Surely. Or, to be honest, I hope he fucking blackmails her into confessing or something. Because we know she ain't going to do that on her own. Like, maybe Dangle utilizing what she did to somehow get Ava full custody of Avery if she doesn't confess to her crime herself or check herself into therapy. But what do you guys think? Should Kristina pay for her crime? And like, listen, I'm not talking about like going off screen and definitely in jail for years. Just like let her go to jail. Show her on the show. Let her get a pardon later. Whatever. Just let her go to jail and see the errors of her ways and get the mental health that she needs. Because like this is nuts. We're like, I don't even know how long ago it's been since Kristina fell out that window. But like, girl needs help. This girl needs help, y'all. I can't. Allison, he said, I like Rick now, but hated him during the panic room stuff. Yeah, I mean, Rick, like, he's not my favorite character. I just really think that the actor is super talented, and it's great to have, great actors on the show. And I don't know, Rick, the writing for him, just since he's been a character, has been all over the place. There are moments where he is trying to separate himself from Sunny and live his own life and all this stuff. And that's where I tend to prefer Rick at. He clearly still has a vendetta against Sunny in this era. But, like, he avoids him as much as he can, Angel says, she needs to be in the insane asylum. I don't disagree. But yeah, I don't know. I think that Kristina should pay for her crimes. I think that she should get the mental help that she needs too. Like, it's at this point, everybody knows that she's not mentally well, and no one's doing a damn thing about it. Girl needs an intervention from her entire family and friends. You know, bring in Alexis, Sunny, Molly, bring in Lucky. Does she even have any other friends? Bring in Natalia, too. Bring in Natalia. Bring Blaze back to town, better yet. You know? She broke up with her basically just to, like, be able to be as crazy as she wants to be in the first place. Anything like Sunny, she will never get the mental health she needs. Sunny's taking bipolar pills. So he did get the help that he needs, Kaiwan. So that's incorrect. Just for starters. Sunny's, you know, Sunny's a garbage person. But he is keeping his bipolar in check. You know, even when he did go off of them, he still friggin' was taking them. Thinking that they were working. And when he noticed he felt off, he tried to, like, get them fixed. So, I don't know. Rick seemed concerned for Sunny when he heard he collapsed. Yeah, which is ironic because when Laura told Sunny that Rick was in a car crash, he did not give a shit. Yeah, like I said, Sunny's a garbage human being, but he is keeping his mental health in check. His heart, not so much. But his mental stuff, he's on top of. The best that he can be. But anyway, let's move on. I want to talk about Emma Scorpio Drake, you guys. In the previous week, she chained herself up to the Quartermain crypt in protest of Drew's power play of wanting to demolish their final resting place as revenge for the Qs kicking him out and no longer letting him use the Quartermain name. And she ends up getting arrested for it. I touched on this on Wednesday a little bit. But I'll just say it again, that I loved that the reason that this was so important to her was that Edward saved her life with the only dose of medicine left during the pathogen scare, and because Alan saved Robin's life with the regimen for her HIV. So this was like extra important to Emma, and I appreciate that they kind of let us in on that. Yes, Angel, we're going to talk about that too. I want to know that. Y'all. But yeah, so Emma got arrested for chaining herself up to the crypt, and we learned that Emma has a previous arrest record after the fact. One with a deep, dark secret that involves some sort of NDA, a non-disclosure agreement, for those of you that didn't know. So she can't even spill to Anna what she was arrested for. So the story about her throwing a party in college and getting expelled because of property damage isn't even true. So, you know, I'm actually very intrigued as to what it could even be. Because this seems big. And, you know, the acting DA currently, I forget her name, but it seems she's playing a bigger role than I thought she would. Because, like, honestly, she gives day player vibes. But they're keeping her around and she's interacting with a few different characters here and there. Obviously, at first, I thought she was just kind of like a thorn in Anna's side. But she's digging harshly into Emma. She's looking into Emma's friends and asking them questions like Trina. And she's even talking to Sunny Corinthos. Like, she's getting around. So they're utilizing her more. Maybe she'll be the next one that falls in love with Sunny. Who knows? But yeah, I want to know what she did, y'all. I really want to know. But yeah, do you guys have theories? Because I don't really have theories. The only theory that I've got really isn't even really what she did. But it's more so like whatever it is that she did, I think it's going to tie into Jocelyn's first mission as a WSB agent. That is my guess. I don't know for sure. Y'all know I don't read spoilers unless it comes to like actor casting. That is like the only kind of spoilers I read. Jocelyn has been spending weeks seemingly just like boxing this hot guy in a tiny room as her training to become a WSB agent. We've seen her only do that for her training, okay? Like, we've not seen her wield a gun. We've not seen her fight off multiple bad guys at once. We've not seen her defuse any bombs. Nothing of the sort. And her final test was apparently seeing Vaughn, aka the hot guy, receiving a package from a woman at a coffee shop and not backing down from telling Jack the truth about it. So, I don't know. Allison, you think that maybe she ran a plagiarizing scam? Interesting. Natalia's son is different son, or she has more than 2 sons. I think that it's the same son, and that maybe he's changed his name to Marco. Because he had a name. I just can't remember what it was. We're going to talk about them soon too, by the way. Aaron, you said you like Joss as a WSB agent. I don't know how I feel about it. It seems a bit silly to me, but whatever, you know? But yeah, anyway, so she passed her final test to be a WSB agent and was sent off to her first mission, which happens to be in Port Charles. And that's really the only reason why I think it could have to do with Emma, is because they made they're bringing her back to town. This story got revealed just as Jocelyn's returning into town. And on top of that, when Emma first came back to town, they made a point to sort of reignite the sort of bad blood between those two, you know, from their toddler days. Their toddlerhoods, y'all. So, I don't know. Who knows? I could be wrong, honestly. I'm just guessing, right? But, hey, SLJ. But yeah, we'll see. It could have to do with Sunny as well. This will be Jocelyn's way to take Sunny down. And, you know, it won't be her fault. It's just her mission to do it. Eco-terrorist. See, I've seen people's theories on that on message boards, but I don't get why or how. I need that explained to me. Allison says it is silly. Oh, man. Alright, but yeah, I just need Carly to find out that Jack whisked her daughter away to become a WSB agent and helped cover up the fact that she murdered Cyrus. Like, listen, it's not like I expect anything less from Carly than to make poor decisions when it comes to her love life. I mean, she literally almost died from polonium poisoning as a result of being in close proximity to this guy. And yet, you know, it didn't sway her from betting him a couple days later again. But we know it's only a matter of time before she finds out about Joss and also about nearly getting Michael killed in that firebomb. Listen, this relationship, you know, nearly even tore her friendship with Jason apart. It didn't, but you know, it almost did. We can't be that lucky. Sandy says, I didn't know you could become a spy in 2 weeks, but Willow became a nurse in a month. So anything is possible in Port Charles. Yeah. Like, it's just so dumb. It's just, like, at least if they were going to go all in on this Jocelyn becoming a WSB agent, show her, like, doing WSB agent things. All she did was and get thrown to the ground by Vaughn like 10,000 times. Like, that's it. That's all we've seen her do. We didn't see her running laps. We didn't see her learn how to defuse bombs. We didn't see her, you know, fight other people, fight multiple people at the same time, you know, hide. Nothing. We saw nothing. We saw nothing. People boxed harder in Volanino's gym than Joss and Vaughn did in that weird room that was like the size of, less than the size of my room. Like, it is nuts. It's nuts. Sandy said you love that scene with Jason and Carly. Yeah, Jason blowing up at Carly the other week was crazy, but I loved it. But I think you might be referring to Jason and Carly at her house, and those were nice too. Aaron, you said, yeah, if Jason says don't trust someone, maybe you shouldn't trust them. Yeah, that's the thing, is that like for all the years, all the decades that we've known Jason, what we've seen is that his instincts have literally never been wrong even once. Not once. Not a single time. Like, what? I just don't understand, Carly. I know, like, you've been, like, painfully single for years, okay? I know. But come on. Coretta, you said, do you not like Carly? I adore Laura Wright. Carly, it's not, listen, I don't hate Carly. I just like her, but like everything that I've said in this live stream, it's just accurate to who she is. She is impulsive. She doesn't listen. She is stubborn. Jason says so all the time. Carly owns that about herself too. Okay, you know, I am not dissing Carly. This is just facts about Carly. This is just who she is. The only thing I hate is the amount of screen time that she tends to get sometimes. But overall, you know, like, I enjoy Laura Wright. And when Carly isn't, like, with Sunny, I can like her. Like, when she's not in a relationship with Sunny, I like free Carly. I like Carly being free and clear of a relationship. And just kind of being herself, and being a mom, and being a worker at the Metro Court, and you know, just being there for her friends and family. And taking care of what she needs to take care of. Jocelyn's training took place off screen. Use your imagination. We're gonna have to. Oh, Lord. They could just take her to that park, you know? Like, we saw, like, a terrible montage of, what's-his-face, Dex, when he was becoming a police officer. They could have done the same thing with Joss. Put her in the parking lot and do a cringy montage of something, anything. But, you know, Jocelyn or Eden McCoy, clearly has a stunt double. She's been taking pictures with her and everything, so, like, Joss probably can't even pretend to fight. Or Eden McCoy probably can't even pretend to fight. Whereas Finola Hughes, like, she looks like she can kick ass and take names. Alright? And listen, it's not like I don't know that she does use a stunt double from time to time. But she also does her own stunts too. Like, this woman is in her 60s doing stunts. Alright? Sorry, I'm just kind of reading your guys' comments. Carly slowed down the show. Yeah, she kind of did. Like, listen, I don't know. Like, they've always had... There's... Each actress that has played Carly, including Carly number 3, Jennifer Branson, they've all had moments where they've shined. But, like... I don't know. She's always been, like, a character that I can either take or leave. But, like, I adored Sarah Brown. I adored Tamara Braun. I didn't adore Jennifer Branson. She just did okay. She just wasn't a good Carly. And I adore Laura Wright. But, I don't know. Just the character... I don't know. Now that she's kind of lost her sort of chaotic, sort of angry, bitter, vengeful streak, there's not much entertainment value in the character. But, you know, it's not that I don't like the growth of the character. She needed to get there. But, like, you know, she's just kind of annoying. That's all. Alright. But yeah, like I said, Carly's just making bad decisions when it comes to her love life. But bad decisions might run in her family. Because Lucas is about to unknowingly run into, you know, headfirst into a potentially just as bad relationship. I'm kind of here for this one, though. And we know his last relationship wasn't great either. But yeah, so Marco has arrived in Port Charles and is looking to join Alexis and Diane's law firm. he interviewed with Diane, and she thinks that he has a lot of promise. Then he met up with Lucas at the Metro Court and caught up with him. They do have great chemistry so far, which makes sense because apparently Van Hansis, who plays Lucas, has known Adrian and Chondo, who plays Marco, for 20 years. So they already have authentic chemistry to begin with. They were friends. They know each other. Easy to kind of build that chemistry off of. But yeah, now most of us already knew this because the actress that plays Natalia revealed it ahead of time. But Marco is in fact Natalia's son with Sidwell. So we now have 4 known members of this family, with 3 of them now residing in Port Charles. I remember at some point speculating on whether or not Sidwell was somehow a Cassinine, from his interest to Windermere, to suddenly being in possession of that dagger that Helena used to kill Alexis's mom, which was seemingly dropped. We haven't talked about that since then on the show. So it's been forgotten about for the time being, I guess. But now I'm starting to think that they were maybe just having a Cassinine-esque family taking place of the Cassidines, who are basically off canvas now, barring the half Cassidine, Charlotte, and baby Ace. And like they're kind of building this family now, the Sidwell family, with all different last names. I don't mind a new dark family in town though, you guys. I haven't been sold on Jen's being a villain that I can take seriously yet. They certainly have him dipping his toes in sort of everything in Port Charles. He's now working with Deception and fully funding the upcoming Nurses Ball, which is annoying and just kind of puts a damper on the wholesomeness of the Nurses Ball, but it is what it is. And I'm pretty sure he even owned the coffee shop that Joss and Vaughn were inside of. I swear it either said Jen's or Sidwell in the logo of the coffee place. Sandy says, Marco is nice eye candy. I agree. He is gorgeous, and his Instagram is full of thirst traps, and I'm here for it. Alright? I said it. I fully own it. But yeah. So, you know, maybe Sidwell will be a rival coffee importer to Sonny, and that's why he wants him alive. I don't know. What's clear is he's supposed to be very bad, though, because Natalia has alluded to knowing dark things about what he really does. Verdict is still out on Marco. We'll have to see. Sasha's even keeping Jens on notice. She said that she wouldn't hesitate to throw him under the bus again with Deception if she catches wind of him doing anything shady. Sonny had visited him too, and he seems to believe Sidwell when he says that he is more useful to him alive. And I believe that too. I don't think he's trying... Well, no, I don't think that Sidwell sent the firebomb, you guys. I think it was Jack. They've pretty much alluded to that anyway. But yeah, I don't know Sidwell's full angle here. I really don't. But what do you guys think of a potential new bad family on the show? Do you guys like Sidwell, Natalia, Marco? Did you guys like Blaze? I would like to see Blaze back in town, honestly, to reunite with her brother. Did she know her brother was gay? Did Marco know that Blaze was gay before she came out? I just have questions that need some answers. And we never really got a follow-up for the family reunion scenes from Thursday. We didn't see them on Friday, so I don't know. Sandy said that GH thinks if they give Natalia a family, we will like her better. But she still has no chemistry with anyone. Yeah, I don't care about Natalia. I haven't at all. Like, she's just not interesting to me. She was just this homophobic mom that, like, got away with being homophobic. And was, like, reaccepted back into, like, her daughter's life. Not that I think that she isn't trying to make things right with her daughter. But, like, she's just not interesting to me. She's not. It's like they've been trying to pair her with Sonny, but it's almost like they just don't want to really quite go there. for whatever reason. And I'm okay with that because I just I don't know. Sunny's just had more interesting pairings, and they've not given us likable things about Natalia. She's just like a decent actress. Like it's just like the actress that plays her is a decent actress, but we've just not seen a whole lot with her. And you know, the character traits that they've shown us aren't likable ones. So like, why would we be rooting for her? Allison says, I don't like Sidwell. He was going to kill Lucky. That's true. I mean, we're not supposed to like villains. Like, I'm just saying, like, I mean, well, like, to an extent, we're supposed to enjoy their villainousness. But like, I don't know. We do kind of need like a big bad family. It's been a minute. Like the last big bad family that we got, like we kind of built on the Jeromes again. But overall, I would say that the last big bad family that we got on the show was the Zakaras. And it's been a while since then, so why not? Sandy says, love Marco, but Natalia and Sidwell can go. Allison, he said Natalia's okay, but doesn't really have a point. No connection with vets or long-timers. This is true. Yeah, Eva LaRue was good on All My Children. Yeah, I heard that she was good on there too. And it's not that she's not good on here. It's just that there's nothing to the character. You can tell she can act. There's just nothing to her. The character that she's playing. Allison says the Zakaris. SLJ said, I still don't like Natalia and I don't want her with Sunny. They can kill her off as far as I'm concerned. Yeah, I wouldn't care either. I'd much like, let's switch Blaze with Natalia. Allison says, no Brenda ever again. I like Sunny and Brenda. And I would choose them over Sunny and Carly, to be frank. But they would have to like keep her there, and I don't think Vanessa will ever fully commit to anything more than like maybe a year of television, which is her prerogative. But yeah, I don't know. I need to know more about Sidwell, because you guys know I am not sold on him. I can't take him seriously as a scary villain yet. Like, although, like, to his credit, to the actor's credit, he was pretty scary yelling at Natalia, and that was the first time he actually seemed like an actual threat. But we'll see what he does in the weeks to come. Allison says, yeah, the character sucks, not the actor's fault. Exactly. Alright, let's quickly touch base on the Drew front. Ever since he lost to the Quartermains on his name and on the crypt, Drew's been Drew. He's furious that Curtis had the audacity to call him by the name he has to go by, Drew Kane, in the article from the Children's Wing opening, and demands Portia stalk Curtis's Aurora business. Which has Portia fuming, which doesn't help Brad when he walks in trying to blackmail Portia into doing more favors for him. But since he threw her under the bus with his Aunt Selena, the deal is null and void. I would have fired him then and there, but she thinks he could still be of some use to her. So she's kept him on for now. But the favors from her are definitely over. I loved those scenes, honestly. She just was like, nah, you're done, Brad. I loved it. But yeah, I wonder how Brad will feel when he sees Lucas with another man. I totally see him finding certain things about Marco out before Lucas does, and I think that Brad will try to warn him. And Lucas will see him as being jealous and making their relationship worse. I hope I'm wrong, because I don't want to be able to predict GH's stories before they happened, but I'd be shocked if it didn't pan out in that sort of similar way, where Brad's the one to find out shady things about Marco before Lucas does and tries to warn him and all this stuff. Sandy says that scene with Brad and Portia was hilarious. I agree. But yeah, back to Drew though. He's also trying to get Kai into this experimental procedure that might fix his arm permanently so he can get back into football. But the question is, will it be worth it? He goes to Curtis for advice, and he suggests talking to Portia to get other opinions on this option. Curtis also confronts Drew on being buddy-buddy with Kai and tells him to butt out. Personally, I don't care anymore about Kai becoming a footballer again. Any more than I do about, Lucy recruiting Trina and Kai and like everyone else in Port Charles for the nurses' ball. I'm just neither here or there with any of it. But yeah, I can see why Kai would want that. I'm sure Drew has an angle to why he wants Kai to be in his good graces. Maybe he'll feel like Kai owes him. I don't know. But like, I wouldn't blame Kai for agreeing to do this experiment. And I hope for Kai's sake that it works if he decides to. But yeah. Also, if he does perform at the nurses' ball, I hope it's not cringe. Oh, man. But yeah, I guess we can touch a little bit on this past week was the 62nd anniversary of General Hospital. It's been on 62 years. Congratulations, GH. I loved the behind-the-scenes content that they put. The behind-the-scenes of the firebomb specifically was really cool to watch. Just the way that they shot the behind-the-scenes stuff and the slow-mo of it, and seeing the stunt double being on fire and seeing what he looked like. And Maury saying that it was one of the best stunts he's ever seen on the show, which honestly, it was a really cool stunt. It was really well done. Sandy says, I'm so sick of Drew. They should find a way to take his money and everything he has, just make him go away. I can't wait till there's like a murder mystery. Alright, but yeah, so they had like a standalone episode for the 62nd anniversary, which we talked about on Wednesday, but it like, the thing about it for me is like, it still just feels weird to me that they celebrate each anniversary almost every year now, because I'm like, are they just so afraid that they won't make it to the next big milestone anniversary, so they're just celebrating it like a birthday every year? Oh man. But yeah, like, overall, it was to open the new hospital wing, or the cardiac wing for the hospital that is with Dr. Monica's name attached to it and her picture. I think the new set looks gorgeous, and I love that it contains a picture of Leslie Charleston, but I do believe that they'll move that photo to the sort of dedication wall that's in the hospital for all the doctors and nurses and people connected to the hospital that have moved on, or passed on, sorry. I don't know. The episode could have used some flashbacks. It just felt like a wasted opportunity to not have them. They also used this episode to announce the nurses' ball, the return of the nurses' ball. But Lucy was just so annoying with it. Like, it was one of those like read the room Lucy moments where they're all celebrating the opening of this wing, and then Lucy just barges in being like, oh, and we're gonna bring back the nurses' ball, and Sidwell is funding the whole thing. And everyone was just like, that would have been my reaction too. Like, okay, couldn't you have done this anywhere else? Man, I don't know. But yeah. it was an okay week on General Hospital. That, you know, it wasn't bad, wasn't great. There's some interesting things here and there. I just could be better. Could be better. What did you guys think? Allison says, yeah, more old flashbacks. Lucy's always annoying, but the nurse's ball stuff. Yeah, she is. But, like, you know, this episode, on top of being, like, an anniversary episode, was also supposed to really be about Leslie Charleston, in a sense. It's not... Obviously, they're going to kill off the character, and we're going to have a full-on tribute for the character of Monica, probably built with flashbacks and all those things. I think that we will have that before the nurse's ball. The nurse's ball is supposed to be towards the end of May. They've already shot the nurse's ball. They shot the nurse's ball this week. So we're pretty much like a month and a half ahead of, like, a month and a half worth of, like, shooting time. You know? But yeah, Aaron, I do think that they're gonna acknowledge the actor's passing, or they're gonna kill Monica off before the nurse's ball so that they can dedicate the nurse's ball to her. That's my guess. I don't know for sure, but it makes sense to do it that way. Angel said, Kristina just irked my nerves this week. Yeah, mine too. Allison says, hopefully Lucky tells Liz what Kristina did. I hope so too. Don't put any drama into a character. What do you mean? But yeah, I think I mentioned this last week too, but this Monica, this cardiac wing dedicated to Monica was actually supposed to happen, like, this was already planned before Leslie Charleston died. And the plan was to, the hope was that she would be well enough to be a part of the episode physically, which didn't happen, obviously. And I think that they really wanted to put care into putting the character to rest. And so they separated that from this. But there is a part of me that, like, I don't know if you guys have seen it or if you guys remember it, if you were watching back then, but in the 90s when what's his name, John Bernardino, who played Steve Hardy, died, they were kind of having a celebration for him at the hospital, and he happened to pass away. The character passed away during that celebration, and you know, that's how they kind of ushered that in. And that would have been a clever way to do it for the Monica thing, I suppose. But they would have had to probably move so many things around too. So I'm okay with that. Angel, you said, I remember Tabiana said that she had to record a song for the show. I thought Nurse's Ball, that was weeks ago. Yeah, she even posted a little blip of her in the studio recording a song. But yeah, my guess is that it's for the Nurse's Ball. I think her and Kai will perform. I think they'll perform. Well, we know that Drew and Curtis are going to perform. That'd be funny if they end up performing together. That could be entertaining. God, can you imagine? But yeah, I hope... I know. Given, like, listen. So much care went into when Jackie Zeman passed away. You could tell that the cast and crew genuinely loved Jackie, including Frank Valentini. And I feel like Frank Valentini seemed even closer to Leslie Charleston because the ways that he has kept her a part of the show despite her health and everything. You know, he brought her on when she was well enough to do it. He had her recording her voice when she was well enough to just do that. And they have kept Monica in the story the entire time, both before she passed and after. Like, they have kept her in the loop of all these characters and kept her character strongly present this whole time before Leslie passed and after Leslie passed. So I think that Frank intends to put the utmost care into when they finally lay the character of Monica to rest. So I'm really looking forward to that, because I think I'm already choking up. I think that it'll be a tearjerker and so respectful and so well done when it does happen. Who wants to see Drew perform? I know. I listen. Like it's for me. I am able to sort of separate the love and hate for the characters when it comes to the Nurses Ball. Really, because I know it's more like a fun thing for like the cast to utilize their talents that would seem weird to have the characters be talented in certain ways, but like we all sort of suspend the belief a little bit because we know it's just like a talent show for the cast and just a quirky way to have characters do things that they don't normally do. Listen, like if they can have Drew and Curtis sort of strip down and be the new Magic Milos and do whatever, then like fine, I'm here for it. We know they got bodies, all right. Just have a macho contest. Drew should not be included in the Nurses Ball. Yeah, but like it or not, like he did make that child wing in the hospital too recently. So like he's a part of the hospital in some way right now. I hope, I don't know. I just hope he doesn't do a number with Willow. Just let Willow do her things with the nurses. Obviously Elizabeth isn't going to be in the nurses ball. She never is, which makes zero sense because she is like the main nurse. And I know, like, I think that Frank sort of lets the actors decide if they want to be a part of it or not. But I don't think that they should have a say, y'all. I really don't. I don't. This is, at the end of the day, this is like, they're in charge of the show. The actors aren't in charge of the show. They're getting paid to do what the script says to do. And if the script said that, Elizabeth needs to be up there with the rest of the nurses, then she should just suck it up and do it. Not that she would this year. Elizabeth, listen, the character has a broken leg. It's fine this year. Let her, but I'm saying in general, she finds a way to not perform every year. And she is the only nurse that we really know on the show. Apart from Willow now. But she is the head nurse. She's the head nurse. And she never performs. Steve would never do it. Yeah, but I think it's fair to say that the character of Jason we know would never do it either. So that's fine. And he's not even really a part of the hospital. He's just a character that's on the show frequently. Have you ever heard Liz sing? It's horrible. Well, yeah, but they're all they're not supposed to be talented singers. But she can be a part of the opening where they just use a choir that's singing whatever nurse song. She doesn't have to sing to her own voice. But yeah, and that's the thing. For me, the Nurses Ball, I hate when the actors are auto-tuned. I would rather hear the raw voices, even if they're shit, because it's not supposed to be this big thing of wow, these guys are incredible. These are all just citizens of Port Charles that are putting on these acts to raise money for a good cause. They're not supposed to be great. It's better when they are, but it's funny when they're not. That was kind of the charm of the OG Nurses Ball days. When did they bring it back? 2013? The 90s Nurses Ball up until 2001. Sandy says, I want Jason with Magic Milo. That's fair. But yeah, I don't know. I think that Elizabeth, in general, not saying this year, character's got a broken leg, but I think that Elizabeth needs to be at least in the opening number every year. She can lip sync to, she doesn't need a solo line. She just needs to be up there with them. That's all. Neither is Drew or Milo, but why not? Where is Jason Q when you need him? He's dead and buried, you know? Sadly, I think the ship of bringing Jason Quartermain back to the fold is sailed. But yeah, like, you know, I don't need Jason and Sunny to perform at the Nurses Ball. I just... They can be there. But I'm just saying, like, if you're a doctor or a nurse on this show, you need to be doing something up there. Whether it's being a host, or, like, presenting someone, or, like, you know, a funny comedy skit, or, like, dancing, singing, something. Something. But yeah, I don't really have a whole lot more to say, you guys. This next week is going to be crazy. No Wednesday live stream because that is the first night of the 5-day festival that I have to film. And next Sunday we won't be streaming, but we will be streaming Monday instead. I have booked off Monday from work so that I can make my notes and everything, have the day to sort of get that ready, and live stream for you guys on Monday instead of Sunday for the next week. So there will be another General Hospital after show. But Tuesday night I had to kind of prepare and get all my things ready for Wednesday. So there just won't be a Wednesday one this week. And then after that, back to your regular programming of, you know, Wednesdays and Sundays. And some other fun GH things planned in the future as well. I think Lucy's been in the Nurses Ball in the late 90s. Yes, she has. She was in a skit with Lucky and I think Emily. I just remember she was playing a cop in the performance. And she did perform in the 2013 Nurses Ball as well. She was in the intro and she was in a skit with, like, I think, like, Kiki and TJ and Lucas and Felix. Yeah, Isaiah should definitely perform. Yeah, all the nurses and doctors that are on the show, they need to be up there. Dr. Isaiah, Portia, Terry, Elizabeth. Normally I would say yes, but not this year, obviously, for obvious reasons. Felicia, because she's on the staff too. Stella, she's on the staff. You know, if they ever find TJ wherever he's been this whole time, bring him back to Lucas. Who are we missing? Is that it? Deanna and Amy, Felix, probably. Bring him back too. Why not? Brad. Get them all in there. But yeah, I'm going to call it, you guys. Thank you so much for tuning into the live stream tonight. If you liked... Oh, why do you think... What's his name sponsored the whole Nurses Ball? Ooh, that's a good question, ETM Machine. It makes me wonder if perhaps Marco has HIV. It makes me wonder. We'll see. I know, I didn't mention it, but that's a good question. Like, we did talk about that fact that he was sponsoring the ball, but we didn't think why. We didn't ask ourselves why. But that's my guess. Maybe Marco has HIV. Maybe it's important to him in that sense. We'll see. Alright, but yeah, good night, y'all. If you like this live stream, give it a big old thumbs up. Subscribe if you want to. And I will see you not Sunday, but Monday. Not tomorrow, like the next Monday. But I'll make community posts here and there on the channel as well, just to keep you guys posted and to give any thoughts in case y'all are wondering if there's anything interesting on. But all right, good night, y'all. Mwah. Have a good week.